All right, shalom, family. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna read something to you. Um, my sister's husband, he's a converted. Well, he's a so-called black man, but he's converted to the Khazarian Judaism. All right. So I asked him. I said, "So what do you think of Benjamin Netanyahu?" He says, "Oh, he's a bona fide Jew. He's a real Israelite." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I thought he knew a lot of stuff, but it turns out he didn't. So I just wanted to get the facts on it before I even said it. I knew it already, but now I have the actual facts. So I'm going to read to you Benjamin Netanyahu's grandfather. I'm going to show you how he got that name, Netanyahu. That's not their real last name. Okay, so let's get into it. This is the biography of Rabbi Nathan Mileikowsky. His birthday is August 15th, 1879. Died February 4th, 1935. Was a Zionist rabbi, educator, writer, and political activist. Mileikowski's grandson is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So if his grandfather's name is Mileikowsky, how did his name become Netanyahu? All right, let's get into it. Biography. Mileikowsky was born in 1879 in Kriva, Russian Empire, today located in Belarus, which at the time was a part of the Pale of Settlement region of Imperial Russia, in which permanent residency by Jews was allowed. Mileikowski's father, Zvi, made a living from leasing an agricultural estate in a nearby village. At the age of 10, Mileikowski was sent to yeshiva, where he spent 8 years and was ordained. So once again, the Israelites are not wealthy right now. They are in captivity. So these people have a long line of wealth. So even Netanyahu's grandfather, his great grandfather, was wealthy. All right. Already while Mileikowsky attended yeshiva, he began to make speeches and lectures and was in contact with the Zionist activist Yehuda Zvi Zvarov. That's that's like a Russian or German last name. Russia, Russian. So these people are Russians who encouraged him to engage in his field. The age of 20-year-old Mileikowsky began promoting Zionism. Hold on, let me zoom in on this. Zionism in Siberia region, which is Russia, following a request to do so by the Zionist leader. In the following years, Mileikowsky continued to engage in Zionist promotion. In addition, gave speeches against the Bund movement and against other socialist, Jewish, and anti-Zionist movements. During the Sixth Zionist Congress, Mileikowsky was among the opponents of the Uganda program, despite belonging to Theodore Herzl's camp. In 1908, Mileikowsky moved to Poland and became the director of Hebrew Gymnasium of Mordecai Yakov Krinsky in Warsaw, while continuing to promote Zionism. You see, so this Zionism stuff has been going on for a long time. All right. Uh, he went through hundreds of towns and was considered one of the most popular Zionist speakers in 1912. Mileikowsky moved to Lodz and served as a maggid in the Zionist synagogue Beth Jacob. He used to deliver his sermons in Hebrew, an uncommon practice at the time. In 1913, he, um, in the Hebrew newspaper, reported about a major event held in Lodz organized by the members of the Mizrachi movement. The report mentioned also the excellent speech by the Rabbi Mileikowsky, which was carried partly in Hebrew and partly in Yiddish. According to his son, Benzion Netanyahu, the Mileikowsky family was one of the, the, the few families in the world who spoke Hebrew at the time. In 1914, Mileikowsky was appointed rabbi of the city of Ravine, but following World War One, he remained with his family in Lodz. In 1920, Mileikowsky immigrated to the Mandatory Palestine with his wife and 9 children and became the director of the School of Vilcomits in Rosh Pina. During this period, he published various articles in the Hebrew press promoting the Jewish settlement of the Galilee region. On some of the articles he published he signed under the name Netanyahu. You see that? A surname his sons adopted. So you see, this is how Benjamin Netanyahu got his last name. They try to act like he's an Israelite and he's from Israel, and he adopted this name Netanyahu. So you see what happened here is in 1920, his grandfather immigrated to Palestine, and he waited for 4 years to try to get his uh, uh, his name out there with that name, and then after that, in 1924, he moved to Jerusalem. So now he's a bona fide Netanyahu. See, these people are evil and wicked. They're converts. They're Khazarians. All right. So this is how Benjamin Netanyahu got his last name. His grandfather changed the last name as a surname when he moved to Israel. He had to change the last name to fake like he was a true Israelite, and and chose an Israelite name. All right. So this name is really Nathan of Judah. You see, in 1924 he moved with his family to Jerusalem, and during that same year he traveled to England on behalf of whatsoever in order to raise funds for the Jewish National Fund and Karen Hailsad. Following the success of these campaigns, he was sent to the United States. So that means they raised a lot of money on behalf of the Jewish National Fund. Mileikowski's numerous speeches made a strong impression on the American Jewish community. In 1926, so check this out. He came to Palestine in 1920, changed his name. Then in 1924, in 4 years, he waited 4 years. Then he moved to Jerusalem, right? So now that's his. So now his name is set in stone. Then after he did that, now he goes to America under the name Netanyahu. These guys are devils. Uh, uh, in 1926, the newspaper Das Yiddish Folk reported that American Zionist Rabbi Mileikowsky lectured in 700 lectures through 9 months, once a year. Mileikowsky used to visit Palestine. In 1928, Mileikowsky published several of his speeches in the book Notion Estate, Hebrew. On the eve of 1929 Palestine riots, Mileikowsky returned to Palestine, purchased land in Herzliya, in which he built up a farm, and in addition, he was active in uh, Hirat Hakarim settlement movement for private farmers. After the assassination of Haim Arslarov, an assassination. This, when someone gets assassinated, you know it's about to, something's up. In 1933, Rabbi Mileikowsky, who was affiliated with the revisionist movement, took part in the establishment of a public committee headed by Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook, which protected those accused of Arlosrov's assassination. Wow, that means he has something to do with it. That means he, that means he has something to do with it. Namely, Zvi Rosenblatt and Abraham Stavitsky. Rabbi Mileikowsky argued that the evidence indicated that they did not commit the assassination, and that their execution could lead to a civil war which would harm the Zionist enterprise. Whoa! Rabbi Mileikowsky died in Jerusalem February 4th, 1935, and was buried in the Mount of Olives Cemetery. Rabbi Abraham Isaac Kook referred to Mileikowsky in his eulogy as a divine speaker. The square most adjacent to Israel's National Cemetery in Mount Herzl is named after Nathan Mileikowsky. You see this? Now, the scriptures don't say that. The scripture says that. What does it say? Let me get you the scripture on it. Uh, Trodden down with Gentiles. Watch this. Here it is. Trodden down with Gentiles. This is Luke something. Yeah, Luke 21:24. Luke 21:24. And they fall, which means the true Israelites, fell by the sword and was led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. You see that? So that's proof right there. I just read you this guy's history, and now Jerusalem is being trodden down with Gentiles. All right, shalom.